I want to thank Dr. Muse and Mr. Adams for giving me the opportunity to get back to the state of Ohio. I'm happy to be back here, born as a Buckeye, raised as a Buckeye, and worked most of my life as a Buckeye. It's great to be back here. It's great to come to the great city of Akron. I think it's a very progressive city. Knowing what I've known from the last time, the experience, I hope that I've become smarter from the first couple of years the last time around, and hope that that in this time around that I won't make the same mistakes I made the last time starting out.
Last year, University of Florida didn't get a chance to play in any postseason games and stuff. This year, I was lucky. I'm a senior. Other guys won't get a chance to on the team, but I will. I'm pretty excited about being in Montgomery.
It's a showcase. A lot of scouts going to be here, and this is going to improve your chances in the draft, right?
Oh, yeah, this can help or hurt me a lot, and I'm looking forward to playing against some of the top football players throughout the country, some of the top seniors and stuff, definitely here in Montgomery. I'm looking forward to being on the football field with them.
So I think it'll be a pretty interesting experience, me getting the first shot at playing one of the bowl games, and hopefully not the last one. Come up here, I have a lot of fun, work pretty hard, try to impress the scouts, do the best that I can.
Do you think you're having to overcome the fact that you're coming from a small school and maybe this is your chance to step into the limelight a little bit more?
Well, I think so, because now by playing in the blue-gray, I guess it'll give me the opportunity to compete against some of the largest universities, and just to prove to the people, I guess, that also guys from the small university can compete with the guys from the larger universities.
Willie, how does it feel to be in Montgomery?
Well, it's cold right now, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty exciting.
You're no stranger to Montgomery. You said you've been here playing Alabama State before.
I'm excited. I waited a long time, a couple of weeks. I've been working out and everything. I'm excited to play my first senior bowl game, all-star game. Last year, University of Florida didn't get a chance to play in any postseason games and stuff. This year, I was lucky. I'm a senior. Other guys won't get a chance to on the team, but I will. I'm pretty excited about being in Montgomery.
It's a showcase. A lot of scouts going to be here, and this is going to improve your chances in the draft, right?
Oh, yeah, this can help or hurt me a lot, and I'm looking forward to playing against some of the top football players throughout the country, some of the top seniors and stuff, definitely here in Montgomery. I'm looking forward to being on the football field with them.
Any sense of maybe what might have been here you are playing in this bowl rather than another bowl, Holiday Bowl, New Year's Day?
Well, I think I'm probably over that now. At the end of the season, I was hoping that we got a chance to go to the Sugar Bowl and everything, how much nicer it would have been. But just coming to a bowl game, period. I feel sorry for the underclassmen that don't get a chance to, from the University of Florida. I think we had a great program, and we definitely played in a major bowl game. But I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to represent the University of Florida.
For he is our God, and worthy to This is first half action. The Sixers in white. Mo Cheeks tried to get it to Julius Erving, stolen by Rodney McRae. Ahead to Lewis Lloyd. Lloyd, the feed to Akeem Olajuwon, the one-handed jam for 2 of his 14 points in the ball game. Later, the Sixers get one back. John Lucas working for the pass, stolen by Charles Barkley. Here comes Philadelphia. Barkley to Julius Erving. Dr. J, the slam. He had 19 points. Meanwhile, Ralph Sampson having his problems with Houston. Sampson, the jumper over Charles Barkley. It's an air ball. And back the other way come the Sixers. Mo Cheeks to Charles Barkley, the pretty layup by Barkley. Philadelphia would lead at halftime 68-55. Second half, Charles Barkley just warming up. Watch Mo Cheeks to Charles Barkley, the thundering one-handed jam. Barkley, 31 points and 19 rebounds, and there would be more. Lewis Lloyd stripped of the ball off the face of Moses Malone to Charles Barkley. He'll take it himself. Behind the back, around Ralph Sampson for the jam. The Sixers wallop the Houston Rockets 126-108. I'm Joe Schreiber for NBC News.
The amount that he spent was directly related to that. We find this correlation with every one of the people that are running for re-election, both in the Senate and in the House. That's when their expenditures go way up. It's taken to be almost an entitlement benefit now to the incumbent to be able to have this privilege to just spend these millions and millions of dollars, and we just don't think it's fair. We're asking for Senator Denton's leadership. He's a very honorable man, and we feel that he will take the bull by the horn and try to... Find this correlation with every one of the people that are running for re-election, both in the Senate and in the House. That's when their expenditures go way up. It's taken to be almost an entitlement benefit now to the incumbent to be able to have this privilege to just spend these millions and millions of dollars, and we just don't think it's fair. We're asking for Senator Denton's leadership. He's a very honorable man, and we feel that he will take the bull by the horn and try to do something about it.
The plan that you mentioned that you would like him to follow, can you give me a little...
But I would like for you to know, without any shadow of a doubt, whether it's official or unofficial, that I want my old job back in Montgomery, Alabama.
James served as governor from 1978 to 82 and elected not to seek a successive term when Governor Wallace announced his candidacy. But whether Wallace runs again in 86 or not, James says he's a candidate and he'll run on his record, including his well-publicized tangles with the legislature.
The Alabama legislature, my closest friends and dearest allies.
James cited strides made during his term in the education and prison systems and business and industry.
I don't remember any Alabama manufacturers leaving the state when I was there. I'm going to tell you, we had a prison problem and we didn't dodge it. We addressed it and solved it.
But James did dodge questions on current issues such as the federal desegregation lawsuit.
You asked me a tough question, and the only reason it's tough is because I haven't read all of the legal documents, and I need to do that before I answer the question.
He also didn't have much to say about the other candidates vying for the gubernatorial office or what he expects in the upcoming race.
When you're in a race, I learned a long time ago, because I used to run sprints, you never look to the left or right, because you don't want to, you don't want to see. You want all to be looking at your heels. And I have no idea how those things will come out. I just know, You got to take what you believe to the people of Alabama. And
James' next stop is Birmingham, where tomorrow some of the city's most prominent and wealthy businessmen are joining together for a James campaign fundraiser. James doesn't have to officially declare his candidacy until April. Lisa Walsh, WSFA TV News.
Greene County District Judge Richard Osborne is suing the city of Montgomery and Mayor Emery Falmer for $3 million. The former city attorney was convicted of larceny when he was 21 years old, and that conviction disqualified him from public office. Since then, Osborne received a pardon from the state, a pardon he says Falmer should have granted him in the first place.
I feel that it was racially and politically motivated. Had I been given the pardon, then Mayor Falmer's political constituency or political ally in Greene County, who was white, would not have been allowed to serve for those 2.5 years.
Osborne is asking for damages to cover lost wages. Attorneys for the city say the mayor had good reason not to grant the pardon.
That the reasons were not political, that he had been convicted of larceny and that he was behind on his child support and that he had defied a court order to support his children, and that there was some question as to whether or not he could legally give him a pardon because of the offense that he was committed, and it was a crime against moral turpitude.
Also before the court today is the appeal of Montgomery police officer Stephen Island. Island claims he was demoted because he wrote a poem criticizing Mayor Falmer. City officials say Island would have been reassigned anyway.
And the poem had a reference to the mayor in it, and then it had a reference to fellow police officers as rats, mice, dullards, and being two-faced.
Earlier this year, a judge ruled under the Constitution Island could criticize the mayor but not fellow city employees. Under that ruling, a jury dismissed Island's lawsuit. In the appeal, the police officer claims all of the poem should be covered by the First Amendment. A decision in both cases is expected in 4 to 5 months. Carrie Gordon, WSFA TV News.
Police say the man who robbed this jewelry store of an undetermined amount of rings, brooches, and diamond clusters is approximately 40 years old and was last seen wearing a gray overcoat and black hat. They say he may have also been wearing a false mustache. He is also believed to have been carrying a tan briefcase.
The investigators have interviewed maybe a half a dozen witnesses or so, and we have got some leads that they are working on. The odds are very good that we're going to catch the individual that was involved. Personal opinion, I feel like it's probably somebody that was from out of town, somebody that was this proficient. If he had been local, we would have probably known about it.
Police believe the suspect made several trips in and out of this building over a period of 2 weeks, planning the robbery and his escape. Norman Lumpkin, WSFA TV News reporting.
Merry Christmas to you. What's your name? Chiquita. You've been a good girl all year long? You have. What do you want?
helped those areas. As we know, the forest products industry is still the #1. Took some initiative and did some things that helped us. As you will see from the comparative figures, why we're not. I promised Tom Colburn the industry in the state. Can you give us? We'll see from the work that our budget.
And one or two people can't do it. Every person I might need to refer to you. We have nationally to get the to get it done. But continue to work on. We continue to work on.
We're trying to do that. Consequently, we feel that we can come in and ask for 10 cents, 10.
Louisiana, Texas. Second page. Mike?
You already got your shit down.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like if you put your hand over the top, you'll be all right.
I'm glad to see him go somewhere. I knew he wasn't hurting for a job when he resigned at Notre Dame, and I just wish him nothing but the best because he's a good man, and I hope it all works out for him.
And another guy I'm sure you know well, that we know well down here, Mal Moore. How about him?
I hope he gets a good job. Mal, first time I called him Mal. Coach Moore. Coach Moore.
He's your coach, huh?
That's right. He's my coach, and without a doubt, he's the best coach I ever had. And, you know, he's just the type of person that you want to run through the wall for. And he's got a lot of influence from Coach Bryant, and a lot of it just rubs off him, and he just glows with Coach Bryant's, and he tells us all the stories and everything. But I'm happy to have him, and I hope he gets a real good job.
The date, November 30th. The place, Legion Field in Birmingham. A last-second Van Tiffen field goal lifts Alabama past Auburn 25-23 in one of the most emotionally rendering Iron Bowl matchups ever. But Birmingham was 3 long weeks ago. This morning, the Auburn Tigers returned to the practice field with their minds set on a new destination. That destination being Dallas, Texas. The Cotton Bowl and the Texas A&M Aggies now await Auburn New Year's Day. But a couple of very important developments have taken place here on the Plains since the Alabama game. First and foremost, tailback Bo Jackson was awarded the Heisman Trophy.
We wanted to win the conference. We wanted to win a national championship. We wanted to beat Alabama, so it was 0 for 3 at the time. But last but not least, we wanted Bo to win the Heisman, and he did it, and hopefully we're on the road right now.
They gave us a big boost, and we're going to go out to Dallas and try to boost ourselves to a 4th straight bowl win.
The next matter, however, is perhaps a distraction. In the past few days, rumors have circulated that Auburn offensive coordinator Jack Crow and defensive coordinator Frank Orgel will be leaving Auburn to pursue other opportunities after the Cotton Bowl.
I'm not going to say anything until after the first of the year. We're always on a positive evaluating the job that we've done, and when I finish that, then we'll make those decisions.
But those 2 points must now be placed in the background. The main point of concern at the moment is Texas A&M. Good or bad, nothing can be done to rewrite the past. Only the future remains as yet unwritten. And the Auburn Tigers are now preparing to write a happy ending to this 1985 campaign. Reporting from Auburn, Mark Thornhill, WSFA TV Sports.
Was that the boost this team needed coming off of the Alabama game, you think?
Well, I think it put a little salve on the wound. I don't think it'll take the scar away, but it certainly helped.
You look back at our season, and we had so many expectations, and we wanted to win the conference, we wanted to win a national championship. We wanted to beat Alabama, so it was 0-3 at the time. But last but not least, we wanted Bo to win the Heisman, and he did it, and hopefully we're on a roll right now. We can win the Cotton Bowl after that.
I tell you, it really helped our season not to have Bo winning the Heisman and everything, because we feel like we have accomplished something, and the season is not a loss because we lost Alabama, and we feel, Bo winning the Heisman and everything is great. We got a lot of guys. We had a lot of guys running around here with tears in their eyes when we found out the guy had won the Heisman, and it was tremendous to have one on the team.
Are you going to follow in the footsteps of, say, a Roger Staubach and try to play professionally when your military tour is ended?
I'm going to try to.
You think that'll be difficult to keep your skills over the... how many years will it be?
It'll be a 5-year commitment. It'll be difficult to keep my skills, but the way I am, I'm active. I like to play a lot of sports. I think I can do it.
Yeah. Well, we're all very much aware of Bo Jackson down here, but you were right in the Heisman race for a long time, weren't you?
Right. Our team didn't do too well this season, and I didn't perform, as well as Bo did, and Bo's a good guy, and he won it, and he won it fair and square.
Betty Dillard of Tallahassee told jurors today that Dr. Richard Colon, a defendant in the case, told her, quote, "If he was my child, I would remove him from the respirator." But in November 1982, when the Dillards went to court so that legally the child could be taken off the life support system, Mrs. Dillard says Dr. Colon refused to repeat that statement, and the judge denied the Dillards' request. A week later, the Dillards returned to court. Again, none of the doctors would tell the judge that the respirator should be disconnected, and again, the judge denied the Dillards' request. Mrs. Dillard testified that 2 months later, in January of '83, Dr. Prakash Kulkarni said that if it was his child, he'd want it out of its pain and suffering. Mrs. Dillard says then she and her husband tried to have the baby transferred to their local hospital in Tallahassee. But she says Dr. Rodney Duran told them that if we tried to take the child out of the hospital, he would have us stopped by security and call the Department of Pensions and Security and have me charged with child abuse. Defense attorneys maintain the child wasn't brain dead and couldn't legally be disconnected from the respirator. Today is the last day of the current court term. Judge Mark Kennedy says after today the court will recess and testimony in the trial will resume on January 8th. Lisa Walsh, WSFA TV News.
But we think that the emergency rule was improperly invoked. You have to have an immediate threat to the public health, welfare, and safety, and we say that such does not exist, that the financial crisis that they're using has existed for a long time. There's been no change in that, and it doesn't meet the definition of immediate threat to public health, safety, and welfare.
All of a sudden, a man jumped across the little door at the counter up there, and then another one was standing up in the front there. And so he said, "Hit the deck." And so we hit the deck.
Don't photograph it.
It's a combination of luck and good work. They really didn't have much of a description to go on, but knowing how bank robbers characteristically act, they changed vehicles a lot, which was the case in this, and using all those things together contributed to their capture.
The bank had just opened when two male suspects, one carrying a weapon, demanded money and ordered customers and tellers to, as one witness inside said, hit the deck.
All of a sudden, a man jumped across the little door at the counter up there, and then another one was standing up in the front there. And so he said, "Hit the deck." And so we hit the deck.
Minutes later, police arrived after they received a tip from a citizen who reported seeing two men hastily switching money from one vehicle to another. Before the suspects could get out of the Spring Valley neighborhood, police spotted a car matching the description and apprehended two men. One, identified as 29-year-old Vernon Hardin, was subsequently charged and placed in the county jail. The second man taken into custody was later released after police determined he was not involved in the holdup. Police recovered the stolen money lying intact in the front seat of the car, red dye and all.
It's a combination of luck and good work. They really didn't have much of a description to go on, but knowing how bank robbers characteristically act, they changed vehicles a lot, which was the case in this, and using all those things together contributed to their capture.
No one was injured, no shots were fired, and police expect to arrest a third suspect today. Kim Davis, WSFA TV News.
Thank you for coming. Have a good holiday season. No, it won't be a protracted process. It'll a couple of years or less. will have stood the test. First, let's look at the statewide results of the Alabama high school graduation. We've given the teachers the objectives that would lead to youngsters learning these basic skills. So all of them know they have these objectives, and they're doing a better job in teaching in the first place in many cases. And the second thing, I think the remediation programs are paying off in a big way. Today, this conference, as we've had several times in the past, will deal today with the Alabama graduation examination.
State education officials are very encouraged by the test results. Dr. Teague says the high scores indicate just how well the state, teachers, parents, and most importantly the students are working together to achieve the passing grades.
We've given the teachers the objectives that would lead to youngsters learning these basic skills. So all of them know they have these objectives, and they're doing a better job in teaching in the first place in many cases. And the second thing, I think the remediation programs are paying off in a big way.
The Alabama high school graduation exam given to juniors is used to assess the students' basic skill levels in reading, mathematics, and language. The test must be passed prior to graduation. Of the nearly 45,000 students who took this year's test, 98% passed the reading exam, a 1-point increase over 1984. In the mathematics section, 94% of the students passed. That's a 2% increase over last year and 5 over 1983. In the language exam, 95% passed, a 3% gain over 84 and 8% over 83. Teague says he's pleased the scores continue to rise each year, and if each school system works just a bit harder, maybe next year the scores can be perfect. Dean Argo, WSFA TV News.
We had a police officer patrolling through the Riverside Heights housing project, and he reported to the station that he'd been fired at. He gave the description of a black male, dark complected with a black jacket. We sent several units to the scene, and at this time we have not apprehended anybody.
Thank you for coming. Have a good holiday season. No, it won't be a protracted process. It will have stood the test once and for all. We'll have in place within a couple of years or less. Will have stood the test once and for all in the courts. And if we start using NTE, we'll have to go through that battle again. I'm not saying be totally opposed to NTE. I just don't see any need to go that route this time. Area. This is due primarily to the fact that the percentages, all too often we tend to look at a high school and compare that high school based on these test results. You got to remember most of these skills are learned from kindergarten through about the 6th grade. And virtually all of them are learned up through only through the 9th grade. So
guys will be in that group.
But, you know, this mayor, though.
We're very proud of our football team. It's nice to have Notre Dame on your side as opposed to having to play against those guys every year like we do. So we're looking forward to that.
Not to bring the Auburn thing up again, but you people were so nice to us up here about a month and a half ago. We thought we'd come back, and we're very happy to be here. We had everyone has been extremely nice to us, and again, the only thing I'd say, I appreciate all these players taking their time out of the holiday to come and play for such a worthy cause as you are. And North Squad, you guys don't have any more curfews. You go out and have a good time. The South team's going to get ready to play, and we'll have a great game on Christmas Day.
They seem to get better every week, don't they?
Yeah, I looked at them, compared them to the Alabama game, you know, a different team when they played Texas. You know, I think they just totally destroyed Texas. You know, they had a great defensive effort that day, and I think that's the team we're going to see when we go up there.
Sure, you look at their record and you compare the two teams' records, but that has nothing to do with it. It's kind of like how we looked at the Iron Bowl playing against Auburn. And plus on any given day, any team can beat any other team. We're really going to have to play one of our best, probably our best game all year to beat Southern Cal. Southern Cal.
Primary issues will be trying to find ways that we can cut back on the great crime problem in this district. Also, there are many people in this district that are unemployed, and I would like to try to work with the business community to try to find ways to find jobs for some of these people and alleviate that unemployment situation.
We filed the suit because the state school board had not redistricted itself in about a 20-year period, thereby violating the one-man, one-vote principle. And initially, Judge Hobbs gave the state of Alabama an opportunity to conduct its own redistricting. Consistent with history, the state failed to do that and punted the matter to the federal court, and that gave us an opportunity to have our own plan implemented.
It's taken us 25 years to build the Alabama Democratic Conference the way it is today. We can tear it down in 25 days if we're not careful.
Alabama Democratic Conference Chairman Joe Reed had a lot to say at the executive committee meeting this morning. Reed wanted to assure committee members that the ADC is intact and ready to face 1986. The pep talk is well-timed. A splintering faction, partially made up of ADC members, has announced plans to hold a statewide convention next month in Birmingham. The political group, called the Alabama New South Coalition, was heavily on the minds of these ADC members.
Some of the same people that's supposed to be forming another political organization or whatever it is that they're forming are some of the same people that have sat at the head table at ADC. They're some of the same people that we have supported blindly because they were black to various positions throughout this state.
The ADC knows to make political progress in 1986, blacks have to be organized. They've made great strides in achieving redistricting plans and electing black officials, strides they don't want to lose. They know a division in the black vote could threaten every contest in '86 and keep some blacks out of office.
I don't like the fact You know, if folk want to set up an organization, it's all right. Let them go and set it up. But it's going to split black folk. Now, I'm telling you that. I'm not going to tell you it's not. It's going to split black folk. And those folk who, if we are split, you got to blame the splitters.
The threat of a splintering rival organization seems to be focusing the Alabama Democratic Conference. Leaders say regardless of what anyone else does, this group will continue doing what it's been doing for 25 years, making life better for black Alabamians. Carrie Gordon, WSFA TV News.
So the baby Jesus was born in a manger, similar to this.
We got a letter from Pensions and Security requesting a little help. There's a lot of kids in Montgomery who are child abused and are living in foster homes in Montgomery. It's very special for all of these kids. Approximately 75% of them have never been Christmas shopping in their lives. And we really lit some eyes up today. It's been a great day all the way around.
If you happen to be on the road in Montgomery today, you know firsthand just how heavy traffic was on all of the major highways. Thousands upon thousands of holiday shoppers turned out to what is so far the busiest shopping day this Christmas in Montgomery.
Well, I tell you, this has been one of the best traffic Saturdays that we've had, and of course, you know, you think right before Christmas you're going to see a lot of people, but it's just been terrific today.
Just as people had to watch out for the other driver, they literally had to watch out for the other walker in the malls today. Over the past several days, you've been seeing a lot of Christmas-related stories on the news. However, today is just a little bit different. Store managers are saying people are not just shopping, they're buying.
Last Saturday and the Saturday before, we had an awful lot of traffic. A lot of them were just trying to see what was in the stores and what kind of buys might be there. Today they're in buying.
You're not finding just shoppers, you're finding buyers.
Right, that's it. People are not coming in saying, let's talk. They're coming in saying, I want this and I want it right now.
You know, that's definitely the case. People early in the season come out, they take a look around, then they make up their minds and come in and buy, usually this time.
There is a funny side to the hustle and bustle that goes on with last-minute shopping for Christmas, and that is the ordeal we men have to go through when we have to buy certain items not normally on our shopping list.
Our biggest item this season, it has been the teddy, and this is one group here. It's by Velmo, and this is the lace teddy with the little cover up.
Great.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, good. Would you like the jacket to go with this? This is the cover up.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Throw that in. That's good.
Okay, petite. Okay.
Just wrap it. Please wrap it.
Okay, we will come back to the counter. Okay, thank you.
How embarrassing.
First of all, they have to know the size, and that always seems to elude a man, you know. What size does his wife wear, his girlfriend wear, his mother wear? So it's almost like, yeah, that's almost her size, or they'll pick out a salesperson that's working with us and she's about that size. And in actuality, she may be a foot taller or a lot thinner.
So guys, don't sweat it. You got 3 whole days left to get that Christmas goodie for your Christmas sweetie. Scott Edcock, WSFA TV News.
Yes, it is a big satisfaction to me. I don't have any regrets of going out to Kansas. I'm pleased with my choice, and it's a real privilege to come home and play in front of my home people. I feel like I'm at home in Montgomery, and I'm just excited about it.
What do you think you project as in the pros?
Well, I don't know. I've talked to a couple of guys, and my attitude is wherever I can make a positive contribution to the team, whoever a pro scout think I can play and make a positive contribution, and I do my very best at that position.
First quarter, St. Louis in red, leading 3-0. Neil Lomax back to pass, looks for Roy Green, finds Green. Neil Olkowitz can't bring him down. The touchdown makes it 9-0. St. Louis missed the extra point. Second quarter, Mark Mosley, 48-yard field goal. It is good, cutting St. Louis's lead to 9-3. Later in the quarter, Neil Lomax out of the shotgun. Under pressure, Lomax tries to scramble. Monty Coleman strips Lomax of the ball. Dave Butts recovers for Washington. 4 plays later, the Redskins capitalize. Jay Schrader hits Gary Clark over the middle, 27-yard touchdown. Washington led 10-9. Third quarter, Schrader hands off to George Rogers for a 1-yard touchdown. The Redskins go on to beat St. Louis 27-16. I'm Michael Stone for NBC News. First half action, Philly and white. Charles Barkley to Moses Malone. He loses control. Picked up by Dennis Johnson. DJ to Danny Ainge. Ainge waits for Kevin McHale to get in position. McHale led the Celtics with 34 points. Later on, Danny Ainge to Sam Vincent. Vincent's shot rejected. The ball comes to Moses Malone. Out to Julius Erving. The doctor around Ainge. Goes in for the layup. Philly led 55-54 at the half. Second half, all Philadelphia. Mo Cheeks on the break. Little Mo to Big Mo. Moses Malone for the jam. Malone with 24 points. Down the other end, Robert Parrish, rejected by Clement Johnson, to Bobby Jones, to Mo Cheeks, ahead to Moses Malone, and the Sixers were off and running. Maurice Cheeks led Philly with 26 points. Here, the drive in the basket. Philly wins it 108-102. I'm Michael Stone for NBC News.
And that's what I got now. It took a long way to get to this.
What do you plan to say when you do get your hearing?
To whom? I mean, to people?
Yeah, to the tribunal that's going to hear it.
Well, to the tribunal, I'm going to say that I wanted hearing first, that I'm innocent of all the charges which were, put forward.
Do you still want your job back?
And not necessarily with this Arts Council, no.
It violates the personnel rules, it violates the case law, and it violates everything else associated with proper personnel practice in the state of Alabama.
decorated our station here and put the signs up on the front. We also have inside decorations that we fixed up with the Christmas tree this year and wreaths throughout the station and a few Christmas insignias hanging around. And like I say, it just kind of helps keep the spirit around here for the men that have to work on Christmas Day.
I ain't got no more.
And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? This is Miss Costa?
Thomas.
Yeah, we've got a package here for you. Here. What would you like us to send this? Please.
Hurry up. No, don't you do that.
How many we need?
6.
How many is in each one?
6.
6. We got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Proceed with the seat of our constituency because there just isn't adequate money to go around. They've done the same thing in mental health. Now, the amount is not all that great if we understand what they're saying, but I see this as a beginning of expecting the counties to take over more and more state responsibilities and pay for them.
At this point, to what she does, if she wants to come over, I mean, the whole thing is so silly. Is that she could have looked at the contributions on a county by county basis, and she could have gone into individual counties and worked with these people in some way. But no, she just put out this letter without bothering to. 2 weeks ago, Williams sent county commissioners letters requesting them to pick up the tab for services at county departments, which were formerly paid by the state.
The services that we are discontinuing are services that are not directly required to provide services to our clients or to house our staff adequately. We feel that all of these services can be picked up by the county governments at very little to possibly no cost.
Starting January 1st, counties will have to pay for pest control, dust control, lawn service, and garbage pickup at county P&S offices. Williams says some counties pay for all those services now. And Williams says discontinuing services to the remainder of the counties will save the state $60,000 a year. The county commissioners say they are tired of the state shirking the responsibility of paying bills.
Now, the amount is not all that great if we understand what they're saying. But I see this as a beginning of expecting the counties to take over more and more state responsibilities and pay for them.
I don't see that there is enough money to provide all of the things that the department would like to do. The money that we've asked for in our budget presentation last week was very, very minimum, and it addressed the most critical needs of the department.
Williams says there's a critical need in the state for more child abuse and neglect workers, and she says with the $60,000 her department saves in maintenance costs, she can hire 3 more social workers. Lisa Walsh, WSFA TV News.
Here comes Santa Claus. Hello there, big boy. A lot of pretty clothes. A two-wheeler? You won't ride in the street with it, will you?
This means so much because it's something different, and they're sad because they won't be at home. And now that this is a little bit making them excited about getting Christmas here in the hospital.
Look at that. Huh? Good. Smile. Come on, smile. Huh? Hi. Come on, smile.